Hey everybody, it's me, Cole, bringing you another Dawn of War 2 Retribution, VOD, Gamecast, or Replay, whichever you want to really call it. Today we have Anavar playing as Eldar of the Warp Spider Exarch, and Pega playing as the, not again, the Commissioner Lord. Oh, I will never get that right. Yeah, I did actually just cast a game with Pega versus I Am Bored, where he just lost by the thread of, the skin of your teeth, really. But extremely good game. Anyway, so let's get straight into it. A couple of things I suppose I should mention right off the bat. Those being that I'm going to try and talk a little bit more slowly, because a couple of you guys are saying that I just don't have enough composure, I suppose would be the right word. But anyway, so we're going to see Pega upgrading his units to each have a sergeant in there. So you get 3 additional units in there firing. And he's actually being able to hold off in this nice defensive position here, but he's going to start losing a couple of models in this 3 versus 1 battle, and he's going to have to pull back because that's going to be a really expensive repair build so early in the game. It did allow him, however, to get out 2 other squads and use his Commissioner Lord or Commissar Lord to do a bit of damage around here, doing a bit of melee combat with those Warp Spider Exarch. Remember, once you get guardsmen into melee combat, there's just nothing they can't do anything. It's quite amusing. Anyway, we do see triple Guardian squads and triple Guardsman infantry, so very heavily ranged focused area fire. In this scenario, I would have to give up the upper hand to Pega, just because if you can get his Commissioner Lord in the right place at the right time, it's going to be incredibly difficult to deal with for Avanar, because he's just not mobile enough in the early stages of the game. He may be trying to save resources and do quick tech 2, but we have to see how that turns out. And yes, remember now that his shield is almost gone, he's going to be doing a good bit of damage, but I think he's going to lose health pretty quickly from now at this point, and he may have to get retreating pretty soon. Getting one more guardsman squads coming on that should probably be focusing fire on that Warp Spider Exarch just to get him down a little bit. Because remember, in the early part, if you can get an early hero down very, very quickly to low health, it's going to be easier for the next 5 or 6 minutes, because they're going to have to regen health, meaning they're either going to have to stay in the base to regen faster, or they're going to be able to take less damage in the field. Pega did, however, force the retreat of Anavar and his entire force, and he did actually get 1 Guardian squad in the entire process, which is quite impressive. Gonna quickly decap that and retreat. And at this point, Anavar does have a Shinurkin cannon out, and he's going to be able to do suppressing area, with Pega just not having anything to really deal with it. It's going to be very much an area control map, and I have to say, this is one of my favorite maps just for area control. Having all these little doodads and things and terrain features in here, especially along this upper ridge here, it just gives you so much power in having correct positioning, which is just so important. I would like this heavy weapons team to actually not be set up here, in fact go here and take out this area and have 1 guardsman squad deal here, or capture this to deal with anything that comes around the side, because you can reposition your heavy weapons team or your suppression teams pretty quickly in any case. Pega does have a nice considerable advantage at the moment, having two range squads to 1, 3 to 2, and each having 1 suppression team on each side, and that cannon, very nice little position there, heavy cover being gained. Gonna have to turn this around if he doesn't want to lose it. He has been set up and in the area, so he's gonna be suppressed and most likely gonna call a retreat. He's not going to call a retreat, he's going to keep firing. I just don't agree yet. The retreat. It was called too late though. As soon as he knew he was going to be suppressed in that area, he should have gotten out of there. It's not worth it, and if this hero goes down, and he does, that's a huge pickup for Pega right there. Not only because he's going to have to spend the money now to get his hero back if he wants it, but now Pega has got a distinct unit advantage of, instead of it being 4 to 5, it's now 4 to 3. Sorry, 5 to 3. However, this 1 guardsman squad is going to be returning back to be reinforced. Pega will now be able to do some nice early energy harass and possibly even just decap this. Gonna set up a suppression team all the way down here. Ooh, bad positioning, just out of time. He's gonna get suppressed. He's gonna have to get out of there immediately. Oh no, it's not. But yes, and he does get out of there with the Warp Spider coming in. The Warp Spider has been res. That's going to cost him at least 300 or 250 wreck. And now that early advantage he had, he kind of wasted by just going too far forward with his team and not moving up as a ball, which you really need to in the early stages as the Imperial Guard. You really have to sacrifice mass map control for focal power in early IG play. Pega is doing, it looks like a standard build which he likes, at least I've seen for the last couple of games that I've watched, which is 3 guardsmen, 2 heavy weapons team, which will definitely hold him over fairly well to T2. He's not getting Catachin Devils. If Avanar had gotten some Howling Banshees, he would definitely have needed them, but they're kind of situational. Oh, these Guardian Squad really gonna have to get out of there with only 10 HP. Oh, don't tell me he's gonna lose another. He loses another one. I have to say Avanar is just not doing well in this, and he's gonna possibly lose another. Yes, he does lose one model. He loses an entire squad, and this looks just like a crushing defeat for Avanar, to be honest. That's actually quite a pity. He's even being that bold, getting his heavy weapons team, gonna set it up behind. Oh, most likely setting up in the wrong location. Avanar is moving on to quick tech level 2. It's an interesting call, I have to say. Not too sure how well it'll work out for him. He does have enough energy to quickly warp over here, I'd say, which would be the better option. And he does warp away someplace, opting to retreat. He does have one guardian squad ready, but that's just not going to be able to do too much at this point. Pega just has more stuff, and Pega is also moving on to tech level 2. So I have a feeling that this is just going to be a crushing defeat for Avanar. I still don't see any Guardians really with grenades or anything of that sort, deployable shields. Just a quick grenade versus any of this stuff would be so very useful. And to be honest, I think Avanar maybe approached this, in my opinion, incorrectly. IG are extraordinarily weak to Howling Banshees if positioned correctly. And with their screaming ability, it can be devastating in almost any fight. Allowing your Guardian squad to quickly run up there and throw a grenade, and you can just retreat with your Howling Banshees. Even though you may lose a model from the grenade itself, it's still incredibly useful. And, oh no. He's getting an Antark call down, which is going to be great versus anything in this area. He may even get a quick kill of that heavy weapons team. Being able to quick jump over their sprints, gets lasted. Yes, he does. So he does eliminate one heavy weapons team, which is fairly good. And now getting in there. Oh, nice little knockback. I remember that Antar is going to be able to do vast amounts of damage versus this ranged infantry, and forcing Pega to pull back. But I have a feeling that this is just a very late upper hand that may not turn the battle. We do see a Chimera coming out for Pega, which will be very useful for him, as Avanar doesn't really have anything to deal with it. He does have Antark, but to be honest, when that Chimera is not supported, it's difficult to bring down, because heavy weapons team and then guardsmen, you're going to be doing lots and lots of damage. Oh, he really needed the upgrade for a grenade there. He would just been able to throw one on the heavy weapons team. Middle of setting up, it's impossible to get away. Would have detonated, got a good amount of kills, or at least one unit kill, probably not the squad. Avanar looks like he's saving up for something. He does have enough wreck. Oh no, he just barely has enough wreck for another Guardian squad. Guardian squad. But coming in here, ooh, that Antark is gonna be have to get out of there pretty quickly. He knows it. Remember, the Antark is actually incredibly quick, so if he may be able to run down here and quickly decap this as a ninja, take a couple of hits from the Commissioner Lord. Chimera is out, being able to do a good amount of damage, but not doing enough to really deter him from moving away. Doing a giant sky leap, moving away before taking too much damage. And here we go, doing a one-on-one duel with the hero unit. May not be the best idea. If he had his Warp Spider in there as well, I'd say he may be able to do it, but the knockback is just favoring the Commissioner Lord. He's actually got 3 hits on that. And I'm gonna have to do a sky leap to really get out of there pretty quickly. I hope he's paying attention. And oh, he does a quick retreat. That's one Guardian squad being set up. We do have a Brightlands team coming out for Avanar. But like I said earlier, it may just be too little too late. in this opportunity where not that much action is going on. Hope you're enjoying my cast. I'll try and go over some of the more upgrades in the game. A couple of people have been asking me to do that, just kind of give some indication of what items do, you know why he may have this set of upgrades and that kind of thing. So I will try and do that. Obviously, the stubbornness, health regeneration on the number of squads you have around. So if you have a boatload of guardian squads around you, or guardsman squads around you, you're going to have an insane amount of health regen for the Lord, making him an excellent lasting tank. He may not be the toughest initially, but over the duration he's incredibly tough. But here we go, the Antar can be forced to retreat pretty quickly, and as we see that, yeah, Lord, that health upgrade really paying for itself there. Although he's doing a good amount of damage to this Chimera, but Commissioner Lord's going to force a retreat on this Brightlands team simply because of the amount of melee damage he's in. Going to activate the shield, take some more damage, but he's not going to be able to do anything. He did not actually retreat with the Brightlands team. Nice little move there. Oh, that Commissioner Lord may actually go down. He only has 10 HP. Oh, quick warp from that spider. Nice. That's a huge pickup for Avanar now. May not be able to get him out of his current situations, but definitely a good amount of move. And he may get this Chimera. Oh, he will definitely get that Chimera in the next shot. Brilliant move. Gonna retreat. No more use for it. Get it out of there before we take any more losses. So now, I have to say, Avanar is doing a good amount of little comeback here. He did actually lose his warp spider as well. So it's still 3 to 4 teams, but we do see a Falcon coming out for Avanar, and we really don't see... Oh no, here we go. Ogryn squad in the move. Oh, we can do a nice little sky jump here with... Yes, there we go, sky jump on top of all that. Remember that having a sergeant in your heavy weapons team is oh so important because you're able... Oh wow, is that an instant sergeant kill? Very nice, very lucky as well. He will do a fortify ability which will not allow you to be knocked over. This Guardian squad is actually level 3 now, which is pretty impressive, seeing... Let's see, all these Guardsman squads are level 2. I mean, they're going to do a good amount of damage. Still have been upgraded with grenades, which I feel may not be the best item, but it looks like Pega is just doing a quick tech to level 3 instead of getting the Ogrins out. I do apologize. Although he may be regretting that decision in just a couple of minutes. And here we go, because he has the Falcon out. Has like a light cannon and some heavy quick firing. And really, Pega has nothing to deal with this unless, yes, he does upgrade his one weapons team to have a las cannon upgrade. And remember, Eldar vehicles are pretty weak. And one hit, ooh, he's going to have to get out of there pretty soon. Remember, it slowed down, gets a second hit, he moved, kind of jigged it back and forth. Probably a bad decision. But he may not, yeah. Like I said, the grenades would be great at this point. He really does need to consider that. Obviously, these guys are much, much better than I am. I have the luxury of having after-the-fact commentary. And the top left here, we do see this Antar doing its perfect little thing, doing really fast unit, able to get you around the map so quickly that allows you just to quickly decap something and move on, which I imagine he's going to try and do. He did actually cap this because there was enough action over there. Ooh, wow, taking a good bit of damage there from those two guardsman squads. Going to retreat though. And things are looking a little bit more even now, apart from... Oh, actually, the scores are doing pretty well as well. So that early devastation that Pega caused, I have to say Avanar has done a grand job of coming back. I'd say he's just a tad behind, but he's done an incredibly good job of coming back. And here we go, that Falcon being able to move around the field pretty quickly and going to do massive amounts of damage to this Guardiansman squad. Ooh, Warp Spires coming out for Avanar. Those are just going to be able to rip through all that light infantry. They are fairly weak, but if in the right position, quickly teleport them again or call a retreat. He's going to have to do one, two. Yes, he does retreat them, and he retreated them in an odd location. No, I'm not too sure where they retreated. Oh, they retreated down here. I do apologize. Yes, there we go, getting a nice little melee combat on that. Oh, remember, the Warp Spire Exarch is actually fairly weak in all generalness, so he's not a huge tanking hero. He's a very specialized get-in, get-out hero. I would like to see this Brightlands team quickly cap that. While all this action was going up here, Avanar has to know that he was most of the resources were dedicated to the north. Although I have to say, Pega is now bringing out Lehman Russ. Not too sure I agree with it. I mean, I know Baneblades have their weaknesses, but to be honest, this may be one of those matchups with such a big, powerful unit as the Baneblade may just be a tipping point. They always can be, although I have to admit that Avanar has dealt with all the vehicles on the field from Pega fairly well thus far. But I'll be interested to see what happens when the Lehman Russ comes on the field, because all those guardsmen squads are going to be able to quickly repair anything, and those warp spiders are doing massive amounts of damage to all that guardsman infantry, and taking a few damages. Oh, he may lose the squad. He quickly teleports out of there, teleports again, then gonna have to get out of there and probably retreat. A jump, oh, nice little jump, defusing all that, and the Lehman Russ is on the field and has been revealed. The Antart has leveled up though, which will make it a nice little addition. But now with the Bright Lance team in range, it's going to be interesting that he comes out first. That warp spider, it looks like these warp spiders are going to try and get here behind to throw a quick grenade. Maybe not. Ooh, the Antart is actually going to win that fight. But with all that damage there, no, going to be calling him back. Probably the sensible idea. Extra armor for the Lehman Russ. In fact, getting double extra armor. Intriguing. Still know really well to deal with the frontal assault. He's taking a lot of damage, though, just getting there from this warp spider team because they're so devastating to that light armor. Oh, they may actually want to consider wandering back and throw a grenade. It looks like they already... No, they did not. And here we go. I have to say, Avanar is having an amazing comeback. Only tech level 2. Let's see how this works out. Is the warp spider going to be upgraded for melee combat, I wonder? We shall have to find out. But there's nothing really to deal with this frontline assault right now, so you may break this position, which will be horrible, because this position has really kept him alive for the last couple of minutes. And yes, he is going to have to be forced to retreat from that position. And there we go. We don't see any upgrades for the Guardsman Infantry, no real deviation from Tech 1 and Tech 3. Some Stormtroopers, I feel, would be a good idea at this point, because with the hot shot lascans, they are extremely weak, but if you get them in a nice ball with your other Guardsman squads, they can be extraordinarily effective. We do see the lascan moving on top cannon to quickly decap this, and now the scores are 220 to 320. It looks like Avanar is saving up for something. He might be saving up for tech level 3 just to get in there. The Antart getting in there, doing a quick jump, and melee combat. Obviously, you have to get maybe a couple of unit skills. There goes one, and no, most likely going to do a sky jump out of there pretty soon, I would imagine. Yeah, there we go. Oh, nice, and stopping them from capping that point. Oh, Avanar was building something, countered it. And here we go. It's a nice little lull in the action. It's a little bit of a slower game, which is actually quite nice. It allows me to have a sip of coffee. There you go. We're losing a requisition point. I'll also try and stop pointing out as many as the obvious things that there are. Like, the Antart is being fired upon by a tank. Well, that wasn't obvious at all. Yes, these are the kind of things I'm still working on. Remember, I'm a fairly new caster still, so cut me a little bit of slack. The Antart there will have to get out of there. It's massively outnumbered. He's, I would imagine this Guardsman squad would have been best served just going here and firing, but apparently not. And now, Avanar has actually done huge amount of damage here. And just recapping all these nodes. Ooh. Oh, and the Antart goes down. Kept it in there just a little bit too long, and to be honest, that Antart actually has saved him a fair few times. Avanar has got a good amount of wreck saved up, though. I can't possibly imagine what he's going to do with it. At this point, I have to say he's, to use a StarCraft term, he's high on money. Which, in this game, can be a good thing, but never in StarCraft 2. Now to get away from a different commentary point. That shield will go out pretty quickly. Remember, these warp spiders are incredibly high damage units. Do a quick teleport. No, don't teleport. May have been on cooldown, I suppose. This Guardian squad is eventually managed to shoot this down. It took a while, but they got there. Warp Spider X-Arch moving up here, that Lehman Russ really coming in. Getting a Brightlands team out again. 2 Brightlands teams for Avanar. It's difficult to really call things like this because it can be oh so situational, I have to admit. Because I find that a variety of units may always work out better than a single unit type unless you're facing only one type of unit. We do see 2 Warp Spiders coming out for Avanar, knowing how good they've been doing, and to be honest, 2 Warp Spiders just quickly zooming in here will be able to take out that squad incredibly quickly. And this Brightlands team really should deploy unless they want to get shot at. I think he just realized it and pulled it back at the last second there. The armor upgrades here for the Lehman Russ are actually getting quite silly. He really wants that team down. And here we go, just the massive amount of damage these Warp Spiders are able to do, hopping around the field. And remember, they have an upgrade with the grenades, so they'll be able to essentially shut down the Lehman Russ for a small amount of time. Both Brightlands teams moving up. As soon as they reveal, I imagine they'll both jump up here in a good position, possibly here or here, so they can fire from the back of cover and throw a grenade at the same time. They're just doing good damage here though, and the Warp Spider X-Arch looks like he will live, but just barely. And now these Warp Spiders are going to go against these Guardsmen. I need to stop calling out the obvious, darn you! Darn you forever who made me start doing that. And at this point, I kind of have to fault Pega, because he's relied on Tier 1 and Tier 3, which can be effective, but to be honest, some Ogrins would be oh so useful right about now. Oh so very, very, very useful. Because they're not affected by Bright Lances, and Avanar has got no suppression on the field. He does have Warp Spiders which can easily move around the Ogrins, but they take a bit of time to go down. And Pega getting another tank with 2 Bright Lances on the field might not be the best call in the world, I have to say, but we'll see how it goes, how it comes out. Massive infantry blob. Let's have a quick look at the unit population. 75 versus 64, and it looks like they've all been have the singular upgrade without the Commissioner. Going against these, the Commissioner really needs to use his ability to sacrifice 1 unit and get a massive damage burst. It will help you out so very much in a lot of situations. Gonna get maybe 1 or 2 kills. What is this? This is a nice barrage, a double barrage, wiping out both Warp Spider squads. That was an amazing move, and it's just brought Pega straight back into this game. Beforehand, it was looking a little bit dicey for him. That just did it. That just brought him back oh so quickly. Nice little move there. I did not see how much command points he had built up with a little red bar down here. And yes, he has a huge amount. Avanar obviously used his to call on some Warp Spiders. And that may be the death blow right there, to be honest. Well, I have called that before, and well, Avanar made a huge recovery. 2 Lehman Russes on the field, though. It's going to be difficult to come back from this one. Although a couple of Brightlands hits in the right location will obviously always be hugely advantageous. Although Avanar now has a good amount of map control, and Warp Spider's just moving up over here to decap this point to make sure he doesn't come out of the game just yet. Setting up both Bright Lances, but to be honest, there's no anti-infantry except for 1 squad of Guardians, and they won't do that much. If he had a grenade on this, and the ability to sprint, he may be in a better position. But right now, I'm not feeling it. And let's see now. It is something that this Warp Spider has done a huge amount of damage just by simply decapping this, moving forward. Tanks are moving all the way around the top line. May not be the best decision. Actually, I suppose it is, because right now these Brightlands teams would just destroy both tanks in very short order. And it looks like he's going to try and move in there. He's going to take 1 or 2 unit losses. And do we have... No, we do not have a Manticore on the team. He might just be able to try to freak his opponent out there. We do have an Avatar of War, or God of War, coming out. Well, it's been an interesting game of comebacks. This could definitely swing the sides again. But it's going to be difficult to call out. Warp Spider needs to quickly warp out of there. He does indeed. And where did he warp to? Oh, he warped on the other side of the field. There we go. And now, I'm actually surprised he didn't quite get up here quickly, because he would have been able to get up there and maybe decap it before the tanks got there. But to be honest, the resources are looking interesting right now. It's very spread out. Everything's very spread out. Yet again, setting up the Bright Lances in this forward location, they do some decent damage, I suppose, but it's mostly these Guardians will be doing more damage to the Commissioner Lord, or Commissar Lord. And here we go, the Warp Spider doing it there, doing a good amount of damage, forcing the retreat of the guy. You know who he is. That's right. I'm just gonna call him that guy. And yes, quickly gonna decap that to get away from the 3 cap. It is still an incredibly close game at 179 to 181. With the God of War coming out, and Pega might be saving up for his own mega piece here. This is just gonna be able to drive anything back. The one thing I will have to fault the God of War for is he's a little bit slow in the movement at times. And if Pega gets everything in one location to start burning him down, it's actually incredible. He can go down fairly quickly. Oh! But retreating right into the path of that massive flame. Wow. Doesn't oh no, the kills start racking up. Almost an entire squad lost from that one ability. Moving over here to this side. I did not even see the squad here, I apologize. Oh, one nice hit, gonna do a lot of damage. Not gonna be able to do too much though. The Bright Lance team's moving up. Is he gonna attempt a melee Bright Lance? No, that would just be silly. But also yet amusing if it had worked. I have to say, this Guardian squad is level 4. They're going to be able to do a good amount of damage to anything, but all of these Guardsmen are level 3, and level 4 as well. And this game is turning out to be very interesting. Both these tanks here going to be revealed in just a second once they start firing on the Warp Spider X-Arch. With this Avatar of War coming in, he knows he doesn't want to engage straight away. He's biding his time. Yes, both the tanks retreat a little bit, waiting for reinforcements, which are all in his base, I would imagine. Yes, 1, 2, 2 of his 3 squads are at his base, and the Lord is at the bottom here, decapping this. I have to say, Pega's got some great map control, purely, and here comes the Baneblade. Ooh, it's going to be difficult, and I'm not too sure what Avanar is doing here. He really, really needed to move in with that Avatar of War while he had the chance, to be honest. Let's see, oh, just in bare range, gonna be able to decap that, moving in here. But once that Baneblade pops out, he will have a lot of tanks, just pure tank firepower. And the God of War doing a bit of a jig with his fiery steps. Obviously, he will. This Guardsman squad is no challenge for an Avatar. But it looks like he's actually going to be trying to move up here, move his tanks in once he's able to disrupt this little setup he has here, this little contain, with some melee combat. And getting there, once the Avatar gets in there, it's going to be able to do massive amounts of damage. Look, half that shield down in one hit. 2 control points now to Avanar versus 1 for Pega, but with that Baneblade coming out, it's all still for the taking by so very much. Oh, last beam coming. Oh, did he lose? No, the Guardian squad is still alive. Bright Lance team is firing at the Commissioner Lord or Commissar Lord. Finally getting a hit on those tanks. Oh, but again, the retreat has been called. And remember, the Avatar God of War can be kited pretty easily. So it's not always an ideal situation to purely engage with one of them. And then again, standing around the middle of the field doesn't really help either, I have to admit. He did lose 1 Bright Lance team, but here we go. Baneblade is on the field, and from my computer, it looks like it's just going to plop down on the earth there. And this is going to give Avanar a little bit of a surprise, I have to imagine. Yes, there it is. With the Warp Spider, with both the Warp Spider teams being destroyed earlier, he doesn't have the grenade option, but he might be able to get in there with his Warp Spider to block the path, which can be an extremely irritating move, but fairly easy to combine. And here we go. He's just going to kite this Avatar of War. It's a painful thing. It's just so freaking slow. And yep, by the looks of it, he's doing a good amount of micro down here. The Bright Lance teams have been deployed to really get rid of that Baneblade, but I doubt that's going to happen. I think the Avatar coming in here, maybe do a nice little sky jump at the back of it, be able to get a couple of hits in, to be honest. But I don't think that's going to really work for him. And here we go, that God of War is dying pretty darn quickly. And yeah, this is going to be interesting. I have to say that Avatar War is down to half health at this point. Whenever you have a super unit with half health, you really have to start getting worried. And here we go, using the massive ability. We're not really doing that much damage, and oh, this may be useful, but to be honest, Avatar War is going to die any second. And that's a massive invested waste of an investment. He didn't have anything to back it up. Unfortunately, you really need something to back up your teams when you have a super unit on the field. They can be extremely powerful, but remember, a super unit is a super unit. It's still one unit, not multiple units. And Anavar has got to be going, ooh, so many tanks on the field right now. And it looks like it's the march of the tanks coming on the field right now. I would like to see the population. Yes, it is 90 out of 100 for Pega. Is he going to try and destroy the base? Probably not. Getting rid of possibly one guardsman squads. Ooh, wiping out that entire squad immediately. And at this point, he may call GG pretty quickly, I would imagine. And the victory has been called. As much as I hate to call games, with this little force, yep, the GG has been called. There we go. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been definitely an interesting game. Pega did an amazing job in the beginning. Anavar did an absolutely outstanding job coming back. But if I was going to give the defining moment of the game, it would be when he retreated his warp spiders and that airstrike. That was an amazing move and won him the game, no question about it. If he had those warp spiders earlier, he would have been able to warp around, throw grenades, and those Bright Lands teams would have been 10 times more effective. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Hope to see you all again, and goodbye, everybody.